Hong Kong looms large in the Philippine imagination, whether or not you've actually set foot in it.
Many of us take our first trip to Hong Kong through the movies.
In the kung fu movies of Bruce Lee, the kung fu comedies of Jackie Chan, the action thrillers of John Woo, we've already walked up and down these streets.
We've also ridden these escalators in Chungking Express, a film by the Hong Kong romantic Wong Kar-wai. I'm Pepe Diokno, I'm a filmmaker and I travel for my cinematic kung fu.
I'm Jessica Zafra, I'm a writer and I travel for my literary kung fu.
We are Trippies.
Last time on Trippies, we got a real taste of Hong Kong in 35 of its culinary specialties. In this episode, we experience Hong Kong through our eyes and ears. We visit historical landmarks and newer attractions. We get to know some of its arts, martial, and cinematic. At Old Town Central, we met our local guide, Audrey.
We are in the famous escalator, captured many movies, such as Wong Kar-wai's Chungking Express. So this escalator was built in 1993, and Chungking Express was released in 1994. So you can imagine Wong Kar-wai captured the newly formed escalator and also the surrounding landscape on his film quite early on. Now, this is the scene in Chungking Express showing you female protagonist, Fei Wong. She secretly sneaked into Tony Leung's apartment, cleaning for him and do all the housework for him, but of course she fancies him, that's why. But for other movie, The Dark Knight, and you can see because from here, looking all the way down, used to be the Graham Street wet market. Yeah, but because of urban renewal, many street stores were relocated in indoors market from then on.
Many landmarks of Hong Kong's history are still standing. They retain pride of place even while large sections of the city are undergoing urban renewal.
We are in front of one of my all-time idols and heroes, Mr. Bruce Lee's mural. It is painted by a group of artists called Hong Kong Wars. Many misunderstood that he was born in Hong Kong. Actually, he wasn't. He was born in San Francisco in 1940. So during that time, his father was performing Cantonese opera in the States with his mother. And afterwards, he came back to Hong Kong with his parents and got educated and also brought up here in Hong Kong. But a July day in 1973, suddenly he died. And the official cause of death, many believed to be allergic to a certain chemical in the medication that he was taking. As legend dies young, so is Bruce Lee. So legends, yes, many stories surrounding the dying of Bruce Lee.
What are the conspiracy theories that you know, Jessica?
They gave away the mysteries of some dark cult to students, and so they punished them.
Yeah, and also consider what happened to his son afterwards during shooting of a movie. So many also believe that he trained himself too much and drained out over the years. Whether or not you believe in destiny, so it's up to you.
You may not know it, but that ordinary-looking old building you just walked by played a vital role in the birth of this metropolis.
Hong Kong became a British colony in 1842. After that, many Chinese migrants from different parts of China came to Hong Kong. So you can imagine this Sheung area is populated by Chinese coming from all parts of China to Hong Kong. Without money and without any support, they came here alone and often got sick and didn't have money to see any doctor and then died. Nobody took care of their funeral services and aftermath, so their body was just piled all the way, dumped on the ground. And the situation got really, really worse, and it triggered the nerve of some Chinese gentlemen who grouped themselves together and wanted to establish this institution to document the names and details and also the place of origins of all the people who managed to die here. So in English, it is called Temple for 100 Surnames. So by the name, it means that it welcomes people from all walks of life, mainly Chinese, to come here to spend the lasting hours of their lives to die in here. In traditional Chinese belief, we thought that it is quite unfortunate for one to have to leave the hometown and then go overseas and go elsewhere to work. And it is even more misfortune. After one's death, it can't be returned to the homeland, but die in other land. So they offer this kind of service So in case any relatives or friends check the name list and see if their loved ones actually died here. So it was around the year 1850s. So even now in 2017, people still came inside and paid tribute and offer their wishes and wish the deceased rest in peace.
Some of my favorite movies are Chinese movies, the movies of Wong Kar-wai, and I didn't really realize it until I came here, how locations like this bleed into his cinema. The way the light plays with the architecture, the way the light's so harsh and hits people in such a specific way. It's really just all cinematic. I can imagine them going around the city. I can imagine how the city inspires them and how their movies in turn inspired us.
Up next on Trippies, we see how the Hong Kong we imagined at the cinema matches up with the Hong Kong of real life.